everybody, welcome back.
Hello, we are back. I'm getting into this case, even though I know it's probably about to crash and burn, but I'm liking it.
Oh, Stacy, it doesn't crash and burn yet. You have to wait until we get to the actual trial.
Oh yeah, the trial's always like pulling teeth. This is my favorite
The
part.
second day of trial is the worst part of this case. And I think... so I kind of mentioned this passively to you. I'm not sure on camera. There was a running joke that the third case of any game that has investigation is clearly the worst case of the entire game. And I believe that there are good... there's good logical reason, because you want the beginning and the end to really shine. And so the closer into the center you get, the more... Like, well, we have to fill time, or we have to... we have to do things with these characters.
Creative stock into the beginning and end cases.
Yeah, so the ending case is usually the best part of the game, and the beginning case is a really good introduction. So, okay, so that's the computer that runs the studio security cameras.
Nick, maybe we can see that photo of Powers with this computer.
Yeah, maybe. Should I try the computer? Yeah, I guess. Okay, let's give it a try.
If we don't, we give up evidence. You know how these things work, right, Nick?
Looks like I just have to enter a few numbers. Let me see. First, I need the date of the murder. Looks like that security camera turned on at 1 p.m. that day. 1. That's when the security lady arrived at the guard station.
Can't we go sooner than that, at 12?
Please enter the number of the security camera. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
307. There, entered.
Do we only have one shot to get it?
No, I just remember numbers really easily.
Hey, I printed out the data for that day.
Well, let's see what we got.
That's not him.
Clearly, yeah. Because the suit's too big for that person.
Suit's too big. Not the right face.
Yeah, perfectly turning their face away from the camera. Huh? How was this a picture of Will Powers?
I mean, maybe if you're blind or dumb as bricks, but...
He is the one who always wears the suit. I guess that's why the security lady thought it was him.
I don't imagine the detective was very happy with this photo as evidence. Something's printed on the back.
Huh? Oh, the day the number was taken. Photo number 2?
What does that mean?
Here was more photo data from that day.
Nope, that's the only one in the computer. There's a deleted photo.
Powers is photo.
Hey, Nick. Can't we use this photo as evidence for the trial?
Yeah.
We'll put that security lady in her place with this.
Right, we'll put her in her place.
Hey, that's what I said. Anyway, let's show her this photo and see what she says.
Wait, let's not.
Why not?
It's never a good idea to reveal your hand to the enemy too soon.
Nick, you're craftier than I gave you credit for. Why, you could be the next evil magistrate.
Hey, why do I have to be the villain?
Relax, it was a joke. So are we done for the day?
I think this photo is what we needed for the trial. Still, it'd be better if we had some idea who the real killer was. Maybe it really is that security lady?
I doubt that. The torso's too big. Unless there's a lot of padding in there.
Okay, on to the actual trial day. We will save...
Is the case impossible without that picture?
Well, you have to use every piece of evidence at least once.
Okay, so if you miss even one, you're pretty much sunk.
I don't think there is a way to miss any evidence.
October 18th.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Prosecution would like to show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. Heinous? Whatever.
I think it's very possible somebody else did.
The evidence presented during this trial will all but point to this fact. I see. Thank you for actually giving an opening statement this time instead of last time in which we just jumped into it for some strange reason. Thank you. Very well, I'd like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand.
Gumshoe, please don't make a fool of yourself, please.
We always have to start with Detective Gumshoe straight off because he is always the police officer on the case, not because he is the best or the brightest, but because he is usually the fastest. Detective, if you could briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, you see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here.
Has that grate always been uncapped? This is the first time we're seeing it.
Yeah, this is the other side. I don't think we were able to actually, like, pan over. I think we might have been able to, but
that's not important.
No, it would have forced us to go back through some stuff if we didn't have it. This is the main gate to the studio. The security layer that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. that day. Past the security station is this gate.
I was waiting if you were going to finish it.
Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer. I'm losing my accent. They're all like flooding into one. The defendant, Will Powers. And a young woman as the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then, after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station.
So Hammer was already gone.
Yeah,
when she
so
arrived.
Yeah, so
She
Hammer
wasn't
was
at
the
her
first one. Yeah, so the first picture was probably Hammer walking through.
Mm-hmm. Why would that be gone?
I don't know.
Why would that be gone unless... No, I'm not finding a good ethical reason why it would be gone.
I don't know.
Unless Edgeworth has it, the murderer has it, or the security guard has it.
Yeah. Well, there might be a good reason why she has a picture of Will Powers
squirreled
taken
away
yeah.
in her room somewhere.
Yeah, maybe that could be the reason. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead later that day to 5. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal.
Why don't we have a picture of that either?
Well, it would be like pictures like 2 and 3 or stuff like that. Like, we might be like picture like 18 when we originally walked to the gate. You know? And just say the rehearsal was canceled.
Oh, I don't know why they would have canceled it.
Time of death was 2 p.m.
2:30.
2:30.
Which I'm
the
sure
samurai spear was found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon.
That is quite the hole. It looks like someone took like a cookie cutter and cut out a chunk of his flesh.
Yeah.
It also looks like he's wearing a bodysuit. Oh, he is wearing a bodysuit.
Yeah.
I just realized it.
Lodged in the victim's chest was the murder
I
weapon.
thought that was just him. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that for a second. I'm like, man, It's like
He's ripped.
That is the case, in brief.
He was like, he would have had to have been like cartoonishly ripped too.
Yeah.
And there's no other evidence.
I would like to hear that again. Should I listen to the whole thing again?
Will listening to it allow us to?
I don't know. Can you describe it one more time? I should have known it would be you, pal. Fine. Once more for the mentally challenged lawyer. Yeah, live up while you can, Gumshoe. Okay, it's the exact same.
This thing.
Yeah. Footage number 2.
And what's
you
the
can-
other one that's going to be difficult for us?
You can press B to just directly skip the text. Yeah.
I didn't know if it would trigger the cross-examination or not. I'm like, I'm not skipping the cross-examination.
Yeah, I actually didn't know if they were gonna have a cross-examination either. I think I could probably all remember that second time hearing it. So this was the murder weapon, was the spear? How medieval. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand.
Oh, this will be fun. Watch her melt on the spot.
Yeah.
She's quite the powder keg. She's going to be flirting with Edgeworth and the judge the whole time, isn't she?
Will the witness declare her name?
I knew it. Edgeworth, run.
No, unfortunately this is his job. He must stay here, and he must cross-examine her.
No, he does.
My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please.
Please, let me keep a shred of dignity I still have left after the last trial.
Oh, dearie, no need to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Oh.
Your name, please.
Do you need help, Miles? He needs help, doesn't he?
Seems Edgeworth has a little bit of trouble getting this witness to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. When I was young, I was still called Oldbag, and other children would make fun of me. Believe it, this is the boy of the chess club, and he was like Oldbag as well.
Go that fast.
Oh, objection. I object to the witness talkativeness. Objection sustained.
You're a good man, Mr. Judge. You're a good man.
The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
I didn't realize that wasn't you who was going through it that fast. I thought you were doing it for comedic value.
No.
I was like, okay, if that's how he wants to run this, I'll just let him go.
No, everyone is taken aback. It's why it does the I'm taking damage noise when she starts talking quickly. And I was like, ow. I'll just get into the good part, dearie. Maybe we can get to the testimony?
Miles, that was her testimony.
No, that was her life story about how she fell in
alone.
love with the chess captain and he made fun of her because her name was Oldbag, and so whatever. Okay. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony.
I just like how no one's impressed by her at all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure is one hell of an old bag. She's Wendy Oldbag. She's a windy old bag.
Well, they're not wrong.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. Well, I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was at 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 10. 5. Now, the murder happened at 1:30, right?
2:30.
2:30, right?
Are you okay?
No.
You get that time.
I just took my medication. I'm slightly drowsy. I'm sorry.
And your Advil, right?
No, this one.
Okay.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Interesting to me because a certain man walked by at 2 p.m. It was Powers. That man was there. He was heading towards the studio. You saw the defendant then, Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So let's just start...
Press the right one.
Yeah. So up until that time, anyone could have, who wanted to, could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in.
We're gonna need that. We're gonna need that. Someone with a card key.
Right, the card key that I have.
The card key in my pocket, the card key that I have, that I put into my pocket, that card key, yes.
Right, the poison intended for Cusco.
Cusco's poison.
So that's what
one of the best lines in the whole movie.
So what she's saying is that no one who wasn't supposed to could get in. Was there anyone at the studio when you arrived at the guard station? Poor old Hammer. Run through? They were working on a scene between a steel samurai and the evil magistrate. Yes, I understand it's a pun. They were doing a run through.
I just got that. How many
times has that
That's
why
been
Phoenix
said?
was questioning. It was like,
They were killing each other?
No, they got the basics figured out by noon, and they were using the afternoon to practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. And that's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in his dressing room sleeping, when he was actually supposed to be practicing. Talk about a laid-back hero. If there was a run-through in the morning, why did you only get there afternoon? Well, I had some errands to run. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know.
No, we don't know. It's why we asked.
Answer the question, please. Well, actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers observing, you know.
So she was there all day?
Yeah, she wasn't doing her job because she was too busy looking at Hammer's muscles. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Oh, whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm
not sure your boss would see it the same way.
Boss would see it that way either.
Yeah. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. I never missed one in all my years. Wow.
Wow, I want to see a steel samurai run through too.
You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea.
Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. Did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He had already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Tell us what happened next. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Oh,
I skipped right through it.
so you were watching there the whole time. No breaks, not even for a second? Of course, I'm a professional, you know. Are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper?
Yes, it's our job to do that.
No, it's just after seeing you eat those donuts in the guard station yesterday. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time.
I thought this is true. She most likely could, especially if Patrick Hammer was taped to the screen.
Yeah. Oh, whippersnapper.
Snipper whapper.
Sniffer whapper. Whatever.
Snipper whapper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick.
Why don't you raise an objection? So, witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see?
Yeah, that's the thing.
How did you know that? Oh, I have my ways. That overdressed young detective told me.
Gumshoe.
I fed him some donuts and he talked and he talked. She asked me that detective isn't cut for his job. Edwards is like, I sadly agree. Poor Detective Gumshoe being ratted out by a security guard. Interesting to me because a certain man walked by at 1 p.m. At 2, you mean? You sure? Sure as spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get excited at your age. You might strain something.
I'm pretty sure he's
Now, don't get your skivvies in a bunch. I'll tell you who it is. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. So, you saw Mr. Powers. That's why I said, got wax in your ears, Sonny?
Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, trying to pull up the secret weapon. So I'll say it again, I saw, it was him.
Do we present now?
Yeah, I think we present the actual evidence, the actual picture.
Okay, so.
Save over the
Which one?
that one.
This one?
Yeah. So I guess present. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You okay?
Gotta put the little thing that said that we were recording.
Are you okay?
Yeah, my hat just got caught under the chair.
Oh no, poor hat.
Let me get this straight, Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo.
Yeah, he's way too short for the costume. A costume that would have been made for him since he's the star of the show.
What is this exactly? None other than Steel Samurai, defender of New Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag. Is this the Mr. Powers you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone could plainly see that that's Powers, right? No, they can't.
He realizes
Well.
he's got holes shot in and on his case already.
Well, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Ms. Witness.
Because he's trying to be nice and polite.
He's clearly having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Will Powers, do you? Huh, nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised? What? The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I supposed to know that everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. And he told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
As he shouldn't have. Because he was doing his job.
Wow. Old Windbag was left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Okay. I never said anything. I don't mean mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess.
The Steel Samurai prop.
Yeah.
That would have been important to know, because that's apparently the murder weapon.
Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his left leg, see, clear as day.
Both feet have that, though.
No, it's someone who's like a foot shorter. That's how I knew it was Mr. Powers. Happy?
But both feet are clearly shorter than the pant legs.
Yeah, but you can't tell that from a distance, apparently.
Yeah, you can.
On camera. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross examine. She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Actually, I probably should have used that wording now that I think about it.
That just caught up to me.
Whippersnapper. Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Anything I've said is, on the straight and narrow, the up and up. Youths today, always whining at each other, pointing fingers. This is enough to make all these cry. Mr. Wright, please, for all of our sakes, try not to upset the witness.
She is trying to steal the keys to my apartment. Do not make her go through with it, please.
I can see you're already on the level of all the memes that this case brought up. Yes.
Did she actually do that? Oh no!
There's no evidence of it.
Oh
no! I think Edgeworth has met his match. More into the run-through of the action scene. So, who was present at the run-through again? Well, let's see. It was Powers. He's the Steel Samurai after all. And then poor Hammer, the evil magistrate. And, well, me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing, just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving props and such. So she didn't see the run-through then. I saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall? Yeah, and I think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh.
Well, if they were doing a sweep, that makes sense.
Or he was doing he was strafing a little bit too far over, and he rolled his ankle.
They also could have gotten a bit aggressive in the practice, which has been known to happen.
And one of the real reasons,
just by accident, because they're big guys and they throw their weight. They throw their weight around. People
get hurt practicing their action scenes more than actually getting hurt on camera during the action scenes.
Because that's the point.
Also, I thought these were supposed to be
where they actually
aren't these supposed to be training props, not the actual props? What was he doing with the actual prop?
Well, we don't know if it was the actual prop or not, but we're probably going to need to use that.
So, Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt.
His pride? I only make the jokes before the game has a chance to.
Well, let's just skip over that part, shall we?
Yeah, he went the same place I went.
Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think.
Why? Of all
She
the
didn't know
blood?
about Power's ankle. You may continue your testimony. Broke one of the props. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. The murder weapon? Well, luckily, I was there with duct tape to fix it. It strikes me as a significant detail. Better write this down in the court record.
Yep, we're gonna need that.
Break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape.
We're gonna need that.
I want you to consider how
How-
much force it would take to push a plastic spear into someone's chest.
While they're wearing padded armor.
And now consider that it's poorly mended with duct tape.
There's no way it was the spear.
Yeah,
What
most
was
likely this
used to
is not
kill
the
the
murder
weapon?
weapon. Most likely it was some other item, and it was disguised by having the spear then inserted back into the body.
When the hole had already been made.
Yeah, it also explains why there's no blood, maybe. Because
He wasn't killed there. He was killed in Studio 2.
maybe. Who knows? We'll get to that eventually. Apparently sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powell's ankle that badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room and rested
Wouldn't they
after
let
lunch.
him go for the rest of the day, though?
No, they needed him to do something important that day. They couldn't have him go. And everyone was already on the way over. They didn't have time to, like, cancel stuff. If it was the previous day, maybe? But I think...
Well, this is where you run all of the simple sit-down scenes at this time, and then wait for later on in the day to run all of the big heavy
That's
scenes. But
also-
it would also make sense why he was in his dressing room sleeping instead of resting, because he sprained his ankle.
Yeah, so it actually everything makes all the sense now.
That he was in his dressing room at the time, and he couldn't have been anywhere else.
Because maybe he was mending the wound and, like, taking a rest so
Like
he could
he's
be at his
supposed
full...
to do.
So he could attempt a full performance.
It sounds like he just rolled his ankle is what he did.
Yeah.
I was just like, is there a ninja up there?
No. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. Think we've heard enough? Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there was one thing that's been bothering me. Which is... Where's the Steel Samurai costume now?
Why is it the judge who's the first one to bring this up? I didn't even think of that. Where's the costume?
Actually, well, we couldn't find it.
Why couldn't you find it? Wouldn't Powers
Because
have
no
it
one
in his
looked
dress-
into Studio 2. Yeah.
Edgeworth? You need to take a year off. Take all those
No,
classes
the
for law
cops
school.
decided not to go down to Studio 2.
Because of the tree in the way.
Yeah.
Why didn't they clear the tree?
You can't step over a tree.
Gumshoe could have
You can't
cleared...
step over a tree. It'd be too hard.
Have you seen Gumshoe? He's built like a brick wall. He could have picked the tree
No,
up
Stacy.
himself.
He's built like the thing that dispenses the mortar.
He still could have moved it. Him and like 3 other guys could have taken that
What other
spindly
police
brush
officers are
down.
at the precinct?
No one. No one that we've seen.
We have met no one at the precinct yet. For all we know, he is the precinct.
I love that idea that he's the only one who works there and everyone else is just cardboard standees to make him feel
Oh,
better.
no one
about-
exists in this universe except for the people who appear in the actual cases.
I bet you anything. The murder happened in Studio 2, and there's blood all over the place.
Oh man, that would be really beneficial if we ever found that out, you know?
Do we ever get to go into
Yes,
Studio 2?
yes, we go to Studio 2.
It's
You're already
was killed in Studio 2, and no one. That's such. What is it? It's not a breach.
You can
of duty. It is. There are.
You could
so-
already sense the stupidity about to ensue on the second day. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes.
Miles, you know that you've got basically the equivalent of gold-painted dung in your hands. He has to know.
It's clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Will Powers.
You have to appreciate his rock-solid charisma.
She
Because
basically
he
goes,
knows he's caught.
I could probably get through this.
And he looks at Phoenix because he doesn't know Phoenix
Stacey,
well
he
enough at
solves
this
cases at the crime scene sometimes, where he just walks up and goes, oh, I know who did it. Who is it? You. What? Yeah, you're gonna confess now. Okay. It's like, that's what his entire game is about. Him going to crime scenes and actually forcing people to confess before the actual crime. It's great.
Point. Did they actually do the killing?
Yeah, he is actually really good at actual detective
just
work. It is
when
surprising.
He's up against Phoenix. That
No, Edgeworth is a better detective than he ever is in,
They should
a prosecutor.
switch.
Yeah.
They
Actually,
should-
no. Gumshoes will probably
Oh.
lose every case.
Poor
Oh,
guy.
you mean him and Phoenix? Okay. Yes. Someone did make.
Oh, that would be a really nice reversed world.
The confident he always gets out by the skin of his teeth prosecutor and the overconfident defense attorney.
I want to see that now. I want to
Yeah.
see that world. That's a
So-
fun world.
How about on the next episode we continue this line of questioning? Okay, see you guys then.
See
Goodbye.
ya, bye.